Contrary perhaps to appearances, Hyundai's second generation Kona Electric is a very different proposition to its predecessor. And contrary perhaps to expectations, it's also quite different to its close Hyundai Motor Group cousin, the car you might expect it to merely clone, the Kia Niro EV. In short, as far as it can, this larger, smarter, more sophisticated Mark II Kona Electric wants to set itself apart in the segment for compact EV crossovers.
Though this second generation Kona Electric shares its new K3 platform with its close cousin and nearest class rival, the Kia Niro EV, surprisingly it doesn't share that car's electric motor and battery system. The differences aren't huge, mind you: a 65.4 kilowatt-hour battery, 0.6 kilowatt-hours bigger than the one in the Kia, and an electric motor with 214 brake horsepower. It's 201 in the Niro EV. But it's enough to make acceleration feel a tad more urgent, and crucially for the driving range to be raised to a class-leading 319 miles. With 17-inch wheels, it's 36 miles more than the Niro EV. If you don't need to go that far between charges, Hyundai also offers the Kona Electric with a smaller 48.4 kilowatt-hour battery, a feebler 154 brake horsepower electric motor, and a reduced range of 212 miles. With both versions, a standard heat pump should preserve those range figures in really cold weather. 0 to 62 miles an hour in the 65.4 kilowatt-hour version takes 7.8 seconds en route to 107 miles an hour. As with the combustion, mild hybrid and full hybrid Kona variants, you can expect a big refinement improvement thanks to the sleek aerodynamics and lessons Hyundai says it's learned from the slippery Ioniq 6. And this improvement is matched by a higher standard of ride quality, which is supple and aided by the stiffer platform with its greater use of high-strength steels. Hyundai's developed a new version of its iPedal system, which allows selectable amounts of brake energy recuperation via steering wheel mounted paddles. With the highest level of brake regeneration selected, Max iPedal, the car will slow very noticeably off throttle, almost down to a stop. In its second generation form, this Kona Electric offers an increased DC fast charging capability of 102.3 kilowatts compared to the previous generation's 75 kilowatt maximum. For this 65.4 kilowatt hour version, battery recharging times are pretty much the same as the rival Kia Niro EV. So recharging from 10 to 80% at a public rapid charger takes as little as 43 minutes. And topping up the 65.4 kilowatt hour battery from empty to full using a typical 7.4 kilowatt garage wall box takes 9 hours 15 minutes or 6 hours 30 with the 48 kilowatt hour battery model. Designing a car from scratch primarily as an electric vehicle ought to make it significantly different from a model created for combustion. On an EV, the wheelbase is usually longer, so passenger space can be greater, particularly in the rear seat where there can be a flatter floor. Another common mark of a full EV platform is a frunk, the use of under-bonnet space for extra cargo storage. Because, unlike its predecessor, this Mark II Kona was primarily designed as an EV, all these hallmarks are in evidence. And they make the second generation Kona Electric considerably easier to live with than the first. Inside, it's vastly different from the rather cramped, plasticky affair served up in the previous generation model. The first thing you'll probably notice is this on-trend curved dashtop screen panel, which sees a 12.3-inch instrument display joined to an infotainment monitor of the same size. Look around and stylistic details throw themselves at you, all of it quite interesting, but none of it really fitting together as part of a cohesive design. Perhaps that's the idea. There's this strangely shaped wheel with its unusual oval centre bezel, the angularly layered dash on the passenger side, and a completely open centre console that doesn't quite reach the centre stack. You'll initially look in vain for a gear selector. It's been relocated to a hidden stalk off the steering wheel. You're not perched particularly commandingly, but you do sit a touch higher than you would in a slightly smaller Super Mini Base crossover, on comfortable seats with standard lumbar support. There's plenty of cabin storage space, and frontward visibility is excellent. Okay, let's take a look in the rear. Legroom is usefully improved thanks to the 60mm wheelbase length increase and helped by these seat back cutouts. A long-legged 6-footer would have no trouble sitting behind an equally lanky front seat passenger. But having said that, you can really only still take a couple of adults comfortably back here, despite the relatively low transmission tunnel. This raised centre seat cushion makes sure of that. Okay, let's finish with a look at the boot, which will be accessed by this power-operated tailgate, provided you avoid base trim. The hatch raises with a wide opening to reveal a 466-litre space, the same as you'd get on a Kona fitted with a combustion powertrain. With everything flat, up to 1,300 litres of space is available, as with all the different Kona powertrain options. Plus, as we said earlier, with this EV Kona variant, there's an extra compartment under the bonnet, 27 litres in size, a further place to store the charging leads. A class-leading level of electric driving range ought to be enough to sell any EV, and this one, as promised, backs that up with a design upscaled in both size and quality. There's a spacious cabin, plenty of equipment, and a comprehensive warranty, which the first-generation Kona Electric also had, hence its strong sales figures. To these attributes, apart from more striking looks, this second-generation model adds more mature driving dynamics and extra technology, though some of the drive assist aids can be a little intrusive. So does this car now have what it takes to make an impact? Well, most agree that it's been styled to do so, which in this segment is half the battle. Compact EVs are getting better, and to get a feel for just how quickly that's happening, you've only to try this one.